Hey everyone, it's Jake and Jake's Metal Chat. Hope you're all well. I did say in my update video I had another chat coming, and it's a different one because I'm actually interviewing someone who's in two bands that I'm in with. And this is John,
Hey guys.
who is the lead guitarist in Aventail and also does the guitars and some vocals in Oskaria. And then also we had the little podcast for a while, which we need to get back on at some point.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
At
We
some point.
we had a
That's
bit of success with that because a lot of people thought that the things that we're chatting about are very like relevant. So
Yeah,
yeah,
we're talking
I
about
agree.
crowd killing and
Mm.
other things. I can't remember what they were now. I had to look it up again, but
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
put a link down in the description below if anyone is not familiar with said podcast. What do we call it again?
The Metal Tavern.
That's it, the Metal Tavern. So, John, welcome. he's,
Yeah.
he's a bit mental, guys, but but we
You haven't
all are.
seen nothing yet.
We ain't seen nothing yet. Well, we all
Mhm.
are having tell in our own little way.
Yeah, yeah, that's very true.
But in
Very
this
true.
chat, we will get on with we'll be talking about the bands in a bit, but I need to ask John this because I've asked this to every single guest that I've had over the years since 2020. What got you? Where's your journey into metal begin?
Well, a lot of people probably there we go. It's not as ominous now. That's the one. A lot of people basically is going to get surprised by this, and I've got the record ready with me.
Oh,
And
he's prepared.
whilst most people say, okay, um, my first journey into music was through my parents, and my brother had a Metallica record, da da da. It's actually this record.
What have we got?
It's blurring it. How
It's,
do I change? I need to get that into settings. Turn
so we
blur
can
off.
actually see the record, and that's why I don't blur the background. I don't care if people see t-shirts and that lying around.
There we go.
There we go.
Let's
So
not blur it. Let's
what have
go
we
back to
got?
normal. So the Osmonds,
The Osmonds.
and it's the first track on here, which is the first ever heavy riff I've ever heard in my life. Was
Mhm.
Crazy Horses because
Crazy horses. Oh yeah.
because it rips. The song rips and is that was my actual first introduction to a heavy guitar riff. Because it was the whole song was epic because like they had a really cool like with the keyboards
Oh yeah.
and then you had the really
Crazy
heavy for the Osmonds.
horses.
The crazy horses like that. I was like, dude,
Yeah.
this is sick. So then I basically listened to that record on repeat for like 8 years of my for the first 8 years of my life. And my parents got sick of it near the end. But and
Can you
then
blame him?
yeah, I know, right? But and then after that is kind of like my interest in like heavy guitars. I kind of as I got older, I kind of listened to the Osmonds and stuff less. And then for some reason, I went through this weird stage where I started really enjoying listening to boy bands. I guess it's because my mum and dad,
It as well.
my mum and dad were into those sort of things. My dad was into bands like Run Rig, who were the best uh um best way to like I guess rock pop band in Scotland, and then also yeah, but fast forward God Lord knows how many years ago now, 30 years ago, maybe a bit less. I remember where I was, who I was with, and it was about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I was watching Box, if anybody remembers that TV program on Sky. They Box at the time played, were playing like heavy, the harder side of music, I guess.
Mhm.
And Metallica came on with "I Disappear," and
Oh,
it was that opening riff. Down, wow,
yeah.
bam, bam, wow, bam, bam.
That's okay.
Yeah. And I was hooked ever since. I was at my auntie's. It was about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We just had lunch. We were all sitting in the living room. I was 1 minute I was singing and dancing to Boyzone, the next minute Metallica came on. Then that was it.
That's it.
Blue, yeah, and it completely changed my view. And I remembered how cool guitars were. And then ever since then, I listened to nothing but Metallica for about a year and a half in school because I didn't think metal or any other band would ever sound as good as they did. And at the time, Load and Reload have just been released. Then I Disappear, and then as I was growing up in school, that's where Metallica went on their hiatus and stuff like that. But that's kind of like the era that we're talking to. My interest in metal really grew, and they made me want to pick up a guitar. And my parents were brilliant actually, with letting me be creative because they knew that was part of me and they knew that I wasn't going to stop. So I tried drums. That wasn't ever going to happen because we were living in the council estate.
Yeah.
So and
Oh,
then I tried keyboards because of Donny Osmond because I wanted to learn the. Then I realized I didn't have a pitch bender on my keyboard, so I gave that up. And then I went to guitar. And I guess I kind of taught myself with a little bit of help from my two cousins because both my cousins play guitar. One's a blues guitarist, one's a metal guitarist, and I gravitated towards them when I was growing up. And fast forward to now, I'm fully, I'm fully into metal. I love my pop punk as well. I do like other genres of music just because I like to have a break from metal. There is such thing as too much metal. It's nice to have a little respite, and then when you return to it, you're like, oh, I forgot how good it is. But then I'm still like getting into new bands now. Like these guys I've only discovered within the last year and a half, and absolutely
seeing them
loved.
next Thursday, on Halloween.
Yeah, I was meant to go to that one, but the tickets sold out.
Yes, I can't bloody wait for.
Mm.
That's going to be a good show.
It's got you got was it 100 knives and 100 stab
200 stab wounds.
That's it, 200 stab wounds. Yeah, so a great lineup.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's me. That's my metal journey in a nutshell.
Well, there you go. And I said many times how I got into metal. I heard Queen growing up. I heard Bruce Springsteen, Dire Straits, fucking what else? Korn again.
Yeah.
Earth, Wind and Fire. That's my dad's side. Queen.
Yeah.
This is what my mum was playing, and I was like, "Oh, what else is there?" Heard some rapping hip hop for a while. I was into the boy bands and all that before as well.
Yeah.
I think a lot of us were.
Yeah.
Not a lot of us were lucky enough to get into metal straight away.
Yeah, right.
So we had to
someone's like
listen to
heavy metal
stuff.
Gave us a good slap around the face, woke us
Very
up.
much. And then
I was like, don't listen to that.
And then primary school, secondary school. Well, it's all at primary school because they had the and I asked someone this, if they remember the compilation air guitar where I had the person on the front doing an air guitar.
Oh yeah.
So and I thought, oh, okay, see, someone knows. First person to actually remember that because but yeah, someone was playing something. I didn't know what the song was, didn't know who the band was, but I thought, okay, this sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then secondary school, I was like, okay, let's go down this rabbit hole a bit more. And then one of my brother's friends just gave me a bunch of bands to listen to. Metallica, Pantera, Slayer.
Yeah.
Slipknot, obviously. And
I think the Black Album was the first album I actually owned because my parents bought me I Disappear on the CD single.
Oh, yeah.
And it had I Disappear, and I think it had a
Mission Impossible 2 soundtrack, the songs on.
Yeah. And then I think my first proper album that I bought when I was growing up was actually the Black Album, which for me is the album that shaped my guitar playing.
Yeah.
Because as you know, I'm very riff based guitarist. It's like
a lot of riffs come out from your guitaring. Guitaring. Well,
so I'm primarily
on your guitar playing.
Yeah, I'm primarily like I wouldn't say Hetfield fanboy as much anymore because my favorite guitarist is definitely Matt Heafy.
Off Trivium.
Uh, but yeah, I've even got like the Explorer over there. You probably can't.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There is.
So when I came into into some money, I was like instantly got to buy
I
myself an
Explorer.
Explorer. Yeah, buy the Explorer, the
Yeah,
James
because
Hetfield signature.
my first guitar was I still got it. I just need to get it restrung and everything. It's a BC Rich Warlock, and it's the Mick Thompson one.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, does it
Yeah,
say 7 across the neck?
yeah, it says 7 at
It
the
does.
top.
Oh, wicked. That's cool.
Well, not across the neck, just at the top. So it's not
Okay.
the one that he has with the 7 going down it,
Yeah.
or 8 going down it, because it's got it in a little metal little uh like label. That's what I was trying to think, like
Oh
the
yeah,
name
yeah,
tag sort of thing.
yeah,
So I had that, and then obviously started playing drums at 15, and then playing bass by age 18, and there you go.
yeah. And there you go.
And I've
He's been a bassist ever since.
been a bassist ever since. I still play guitar. I got my Jackson over there,
Yeah.
which I haven't got out in a while. I need to get back onto it. But because of my HM2, I thought, HM2, that guitar, done. You know.
Yeah. There we
And the
go.
first album I ever bought was Son of the Seventh Son by Iron Maiden,
Oh, Maiden, classic
because
album that.
I love that. I love that album, because the first song I ever heard from them was "Can I Play with Madness," which is from that album.
Oh yeah, I was trying to think what my first Maiden song was.
So I saw the video. I thought,
Can I play? No, Fear of the Dark, the
"Bear the
live
Dog."
version of Fear of the Dark at Rock and Rio.
Oh yeah,
That was my first introduction to, and that again, that fed me into like listening to folk metal.
folk metal. Yep.
Because in my opinion, a lot of people are going to disagree with me with this.
Yep.
Maiden is power metal, in my opinion.
Okay, I
Especially
just call
this,
new wave of British heavy metal, but I can
especially
see why.
especially with their like since writing stuff like Fear of the Dark, because they had that really like Celtic folky guitar lines, and a lot
Yeah,
of
some
their
of the
stuff.
more melodic sounding ones.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So
especially when you hear like the opening to Fear the Dog.
yeah, yeah. So a lot of their stuff has like got some power metal behind it, and I can't help but think that they're basically a heavy metal band, like, but people class them as heavy metal, but I class them as a little
I
bit of
mean,
like
I always,
power metal.
I mean, I just call them heavy metal because obviously,
Yeah, yeah,
well, yeah, new wave of British heavy metal, but still heavy metal, and I can see why. I
yeah,
think a lot of power metal bands would take influence from, especially the Bruce Dickinson era,
yeah, yeah,
because he has that voice.
yeah.
And there's probably those who are like, nah, the Paul Diano era, and of course Paul Diano has sadly passed away.
Rest in power, my friend.
And of course, I'm gonna play this a little bit later on when I get a chance. The
Nice.
debut, which has Mr. Diano on there. Where is he? He's somewhere.
There he is.
Yeah, found
So
him.
yeah, yeah.
Right, there he is. Yeah, no longer here. But I've said this before when I've talked about bands who have members that have since passed away. They may be gone, but their legacy lives on in the work that they've
Yeah,
done.
exactly. And he carried on doing what he loved till the end. Like
Oh yeah,
even
I
in the
saw him
wheelchair,
once.
he's done about 100 shows last year
Yeah, I actually
in
saw
a
him
wheelchair once.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
really?
this is when I was with my girlfriend at the time. We went to Trowbridge, of all places, to see a metal, like this all day metal festival. Can't remember what the
Yeah.
hell it's called though. But they had like Control the Storm, Fury, and there's some other bands on there.
I remember Control the Storm. I was going to be the guitarist for that band, but I missed out.
Never mind, they had a lot. I mean, they were a great band. They're not. I think they're still going now.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything since. But
No.
and obviously Becky Baldwin used to be in that band, and now she plays with King Diamond,
Yeah.
which is just crazy.
It's
But
mental. If you get good enough, there's still plenty of contacts around Bristol and the southwest.
it's nuts.
You can literally end up with a gig across into the US for flip's sake. You know,
I know, right?
if you know the right people.
And getting back to Paul Diano, like we went there, he was playing this, he was the headliner. I was like, oh, cool. Yeah, obviously had to sit down because his leg wasn't in good shape.
Yeah.
but wasn't in a wheelchair. I think or he might. I don't know how he got him on stage, but I think he might have had some crutches, and then he had a seat.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but anyway, caught him for that amount of time, and then obviously me and my then girlfriend at the time went home. But what I saw was like, former Iron Maiden vocalist. That's cool.
Yeah, yeah. That's a good little claim to fame.
And then getting back to how I got into metal, obviously I heard on the heavy metal and I heard thrash, and I was like, oh, thrash metal, what's thrash metal? Check this out. I was like, yeah, fast, aggressive guitar playing,
Yeah, yeah.
picking,
That's it to me. Yeah.
maybe like, like what? And then death metal, I was like, okay, this is a bit
It's
more
like it's really funny
heavier.
because
And then
I
black metal and doom metal I found at the same time, and then grindcore and everything else.
the most extreme band I listened to back then, and I still do now. And by the way, their new single rips. It's Cradle of Filth.
Cradle of
I
Filth.
was in school and
Yeah, I think they're playing tonight.
and the first song I
Next
heard
week. No, next week.
was Her Ghost in the Fog. And I remember my mother.
Amphetamine for me.
Yeah, it was a Ghost in the Fog. I was enjoying it because I just loved how disgusting Danny's voice was.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
she gets a cup mirrors, the queen of space. Like that. And my mum was like, and they were dressed up in all their gothic thing. And it's just like, my mum was like, that's horrible. Is that a guy? He's like, yeah, it's Danny. Yeah, it's Danny Filth, mum. And she said, I'm not sure. I'm not sure I'm comfortable with you listening to this because obviously I grew up Christian. I'm still am a Christian.
Yep.
And obviously Cradle of Filth has had their controversies with the church back in the day.
Yeah, a certain T-shirt which we shall not name.
Yeah, yeah. Jesus is a lovely bloke.
Okay. I mean,
yeah, that was the closest I got to extreme metal, and I've always enjoyed Cradle of Filth's work because it's really melodic. I just love Danny's lyrical content as well. He's a wordsmith. He's like he almost speaks in Old English when it comes to like poetic Old English almost, and I really enjoyed that. So it's kind of like is when you look at his lyrical work, it looks like a poem. It's incredible, and his turn of phrase, which he uses as well, is awesome.
Yeah,
and yeah, that was Cradle of Filth. And then I didn't really listen. Like to be honest, my first taste of stuff on the extremely heavy side was who was it? Periphery. And it was I can't remember what was the song? I'll try and find it. But yeah, it was Periphery, and it was just Spencer's scream in the song was incredible, and just this riff that they like Misha Mansour is a machine, man. It's gonna do my nutting if I don't find it, guys. So feel free. Periphery. Make Total Destroy. That's it. And it's a freaking huge song. And I was like, wow. I didn't and also that was my first, like, apart from Korn, that was the lowest I've ever heard because I've not really listened to much Meshuggah. I'll listen to it, but I wouldn't choose to listen to it. It's not because I don't like them. It's just I forget about them. I sleep on them quite a lot. But then
I like the sugar, so there you
go. Periphery, huge guitars, and fast forward a few more years, Lorna Shore came out with To the Hellfire.
And he's a big Lorna Shore fan, this one.
And I was like, whoa. I've never heard anything so heavy in my life. Like I knew of deathcore because obviously back then, back in the day when deathcore was deathcore, you know, is the Black Dahlia Murder, Trigger the Bloodshed, who were local guys. I knew the guys who were in there, and now one of their guitarists, the old guitarist to Trigger the Bloodshed, Martin, is now playing guitars for Architects.
Okay.
Very cool. His name's Martin Evans. Credible guitarist. Not sure what the other guys are doing. But And then obviously got Trigger the Buster, Bring Me the Horizon. Just recently released Suicide Season, so they were still deathcore at that point.
Mm.
And yeah, that's the heaviest things I heard up until Lorna Shore, and then Lorna Shore just opened my eyes to deathcore, and I was like, this stuff's disgusting.
Mm.
Like the dun dun, like I'm a Jake could tell you this. I'm a sticker for breakdown.
Yeah, he likes to.
I like a breakdown. If it like the entire EP of the Lorna Shore's first EP back with Will Ramos. I didn't skip a single song. There's only 4 songs, but I was like this the whole time. My face was stuck like this for a whole 30 minutes. Like that because the
Yeah, he
riffs
likes
just
his
hit so
breakdowns.
hard. And I love a good breakdown then. Then there's Lorna Shore, then I started getting into Chelsea Grin. And to be honest, I am more of a deathcore fan than a death metal fan. I do love death metal. I love death metal to death.
Death metal.
But I just prefer deathcore personally. But I
Yeah,
love I do love like how awesome death metal is because the guitar tones. I love that HM2 guitar
yeah.
tone.
I love my death metal, obviously. Well, because
Yeah,
stuff I love is by me, like
yeah,
Grave,
yeah,
Sample,
yeah,
and well, Devilish Anthem's more death thrash, but still.
yeah,
And then Above That's Massacre, which is supposed to David from Black City Records
yeah,
gave me because he saw him in London on this same tour back in what was it, 92, I think this was.
yeah.
Yeah, 92. Yeah, it was 92. But they just had a bunch of posters on this one and he just got given one.
Well, that's cool.
And he's like, and he's had it for that many years. He's like, oh, have it. It's like, cool. I have a poster.
Thank you.
I'll have the poster. But yeah, because when I got into death metal, I heard Cannibal Corpse, and there was Obituary, and then Suffocation, Morbid
Yeah,
Angel, Death, found
yeah,
Massacre, and I found all these other different bands. I thought, oh, that's got to be bands from the UK. Well, I
yeah,
thought, who's here? Bolt Thrower, always going to be one of my favorite bands.
yeah.
Yeah,
Great band,
always,
Bolt Thrower.
always.
Obviously we got, and then we got
And then
bands.
found the Swedish stuff like Entomb, Grave, Dismember, Unleashed,
All amazing bands. Like
all
they're
those bands.
definitely the big four. But yeah, so funny enough, when I say I do love the death metal because I was listening to Aborted last night, and some of that
They're
riffage
good.
is so good. Freaking great band.
I've seen them at least a couple of times, or a few times.
Yeah,
They always do a great live show.
but if it wasn't for Lorna Shore, don't think I would have liked deathcore as much. Well, I reckon I would have found out about it pretty soon, but because of Lorna Shore, they were the first deathcore band I properly got into and fell in love with, and because I saw them in Bristol at the Fleece, uh, they were being supported by a band called Distant, who are stupidly heavy, and Cabal from they're Danish, incredible band. I got their record. I got both their records on that night and got them signed from those two bands. Also got a couple of members from Lorna Shore to sign like a EP, which I bought just so I could get signed.
Yeah.
So I've got 2 EPs, one signed, one I listened to, and both records because I like vinyls. And yeah, and then since then, like my love for deathcore has just been going on. You got Slaughter to Prevail with Alex Terrible, who's an incredible vocalist. And yeah, that's just the music's been getting heavier and heavier. Then I got into Black Tongue, which are doomcore. Um, some of the riffs I write for Oskaria are actually heavily influenced by Black Tongue
Yep.
and Conan, but mainly Black Tongue because it's just
I might have
slow.
been Conan.
Hey, Conan.
Love this.
And mate, they're just like when you listen to them, they're just stupidly heavy.
Yeah, because you sent me that one song by Blackton. I thought I'm not going to like this because the vocals are going to put me off. But then I heard the music, I was like, okay, I like
It's
the
just like
music, but the vocals still sound that had that deathcore sound, and
yeah, but it does
gets
help
on
that he's
my
a
tits.
deathcore. Yeah, he's definitely a deathcore vocalist. But
You know,
obviously, you got two members of Infinite Annihilator who are also deathcore guitarists.
Mm.
So
I mean, everyone likes thing. You like
Yeah,
deathcore.
yeah.
I like my death metal. You like some death metal, but not a lot of death metal. One of my favorite bands is on your shirt, and I love
Hate
that
Creeper,
band.
baby.
Not because they have the HM2 sound. It's just a really tight band.
No, they're just, to be honest, that's what got me into them was the HM2 sound.
Yeah, well,
Because I
that's
heard,
partially why. But then I was like, these guys are really good.
yeah, and then that was my second realization. I was like, wow, these guys are brilliant.
They're heavy, but they had like some of the guitar bits in some songs sound very melodic.
Yeah, that's what I liked about them, especially on like what was it, the in the treads? Is it? I forget the name of the
Caught,
song.
uh,
Caught in the treads. Yeah,
on the treads.
like when you had
Must
that
look
like.
it up then.
Is that one with the bass line that goes doon 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 doon
I don't think it's that
doon?
one.
I think there's one where it's got a really cool like bass line behind it, and
Yeah, because it got so many songs. One of my favorites is "From the Ashes" from the
oh
album
yeah,
Deserted.
that's good. Yeah, like
That's
the
one of my
whole
favorites.
Dark Superstition album is
Oh,
fantastic.
that's
So
oh yeah, I got that on CD, the Deserted, and obviously the new one on vinyl.
yeah, that's the only thing. That's the only one I don't have on the CD yet because I don't have a CD player, but I'm
But
working on it.
that's a CD player, vinyl player, and a
But
cassette player. There you go. That's the new one.
that's the new
If you
album.
haven't heard it yet, check it out.
I just love the artwork on it as well. The
Right.
artwork's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
it's brilliant artwork. And that album I recommend. I know it came out last year, but it's by Coffin Mulch.
Oh yeah, yeah. But
So
yeah,
Spectral Indecision. That's the one.
I guess in a way it was kind of because of Jake. I got into. Well, it's because of you, Jake. I got into death metal, and
Oh, that's cool.
it gave me a new appreciation for the HM2 sound because before I hated it.
You hated.
I hated the HM2 as a guitarist. It just sounded horrible. It was like
Yeah, if anyone who's like, what?
but now I appreciate it.
It's like
It's kind
for
of
anyone
like
who's not too familiar with it, anyone's like, I say this to anyone who's new to metal, and it's like, what's this HM2 thing on about? It's this.
literal HM2.
It's from HM2, and obviously it's the
That's the
I should
original
say
Japanese one.
made in Japan. This is the
And
get
it's got
everyone says get
scuffs all
the
over it, so it's a
well
legit.
because I bought this on Reverb, so it's been used quite a bit as you can see.
It's funny because Behringer's got one that sounds exactly the same for £30.
Wow,
It's called the HM3.
HM3,
Yeah. But,
HM. What's next? HM4.
oh, with noise gate, that'd be
Let's
nice.
get G. But yeah,
But yeah, I started like when I hear in bands actually know how to use HM2, you appreciate it. And then I'm like, and then I was watching Ola Englund create a nano cortex capture using the HM2 plugged into the front of an amp, and it sounded way better through the quad cortex than it did in real life. Because it sounded tighter. So I was like, you know what? And you could download that preset that Ola Englund made, and Ola Englund's
yeah, he's good. He's good when it
from
comes
the
to that stuff.
Haunted, 6 Feet Under, those cool guys.
So if anyone's want to check out his videos, I'll
Yeah,
massive shout out to him. So I'll put him in the description below so you can check him out.
A huge influence of mine when it comes to like the melodic side of things as well.
He really knows his tech. He knows his guitars. He knows his
Yeah.
tech. He knows everything about that, which
like,
I don't know nothing about as much as I would like. But
like I've learned a lot about certain bits of gear and what's best for my live playing compared to any other channel in the world. Like, I love Andertons, but I love Andertons because the banter mainly. It's like Top Gear for guitarists, Andertons TV.
For guitarists and tech nerds.
Yeah. And then, but then out of England, because he actually does certain things and certain tests that you like to see, and you wonder, like there was a test that he did where he did a capture of his dual rectifier preamp with a OD in front of it into one of his cabs, and I was like, oh, so that's how it sounds. Oh, wicked. So I can use it like that. Yeah. He said, oh, this is the correct way to use the HM2. He said, I use it on a low gain amplifier, crank everything up, and you play it. and it sounded amazing when he talked because
That's
he
how it's
actually
supposed to
has a
look.
video. He actually has a video showing people how to correctly use the HM2.
Which
And I was like, when I saw that video, that's when I started appreciating the HM2. I was like, you know what, that's a gnarly pedal.
yeah,
So
that's what I got because well, not because of his videos, but I got it because I've heard enough fans using it. I thought I need one now,
yeah,
and I found one. It's like, yeah, buy it. So
yeah, exactly.
when I sell it in the long run, no, also bloody won't. It's staying in my collection.
Yeah, it's just one of those ones that you just need to keep in your collection
And
because you
playing it
know,
through my 5 string is ridiculous.
yeah. All Jake needs now is a noise gate.
Luckily, I was talking with a mate about that. He might be selling me his
Oh, really?
at some point.
Nice. How
At some
much?
point. Oh, I can't remember the top of my head now, but I asked no because I saw him yesterday. I was like, "Oh, how much?" He said like 50 quid. I
Ooh,
was like, "Yeah." Well, I said to send, asked him to send me some pictures. He hasn't done yet. But anyway, let's crack on
let's
with
crack on.
bands. We were just talking about
Yeah.
bands. We mentioned other bands. So, what was the first band you ever joined or formed or both?
Um,
When you started playing guitar and like, okay, I want to join a band.
I've been in so many, but I'll do the one. I'll tell you about the ones that actually got places. Well, I say got places, did gigs and tours and stuff. Um, we I was in a post-hardcore band because I'm a huge fan of Fightstar. Um,
Same
one of
here.
my and it's basically formed a Fightstar rip-off band. And
Yeah.
yeah, we did a few gigs. It was fun. Yeah, we did that, but then we all departed. As you're growing up, drummer the drummer was the first to leave, as always, and yeah, it kind of decided to be kind of like it fizzled out basically. Then my most successful band, up to date, and still is my pop punk band, My Last Story, which I formed in college, and we played
Still
fest.
going now.
Yeah, maybe it's like My Last Story. Well, no, we're not going now. We ended years
Oh,
ago.
years ago. Right.
Years ago. Um, but no, it's My Last Story, and we did like a mini UK tour with a band called We Are the Ocean, and we're talking the early days. We're talking 2005 now, guys. So we're talking about when pop punk was in the stratosphere, and like you had Neck Deep, Blink 182, just hugely popular at this point. Fight Star, post hardcore and metalcore was kind of merging together to create this really cool genre. You had your Paramours and stuff like that, and Kids in Glass Houses, and we took a lot of influence from those. And yeah, that's one of the most successful bands I've been in. And then up until then, I haven't really been in bands because I haven't really found anybody that is on the same wavelength as me. Up until Aventail and Oskaria,
Also,
which was funny enough, Aventail was before My Last Story.
yeah, because you were in the band like I don't know, 10 years ago.
Yeah, yeah,
Obviously, Aventail was having problems with like trying to find a lineup and
yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah,
So nothing was really happening. I was trying to do more music stuff as well. But I was
yeah.
like, no, I was like still trying to keep Aventail afloat. But now, good news, Aventail is a band. We got members. It's just
We just need a new drummer. So
we
if
need a new
anybody
drummer
watching
and
the
we need a
channel, we
rhythm
need a drummer.
guitarist.
But um, but we're still
But
gigging. But we're still
still
able to
in,
gig
but still
because
we're a band.
we're a band and we're writing music. We got some plans next year for like acoustic sets,
Yeah,
fancy
folkier
forest,
stuff.
folkier stuff,
More folkier
which
stuff.
which may turn into actual fully fledged songs. But yeah, apart from that, to be
Apart from that,
honest, I feel like Oskaria is now the most active band I've been in thus far. Because
yeah.
we did our rehearsal. Hang on, just let me try and see if I can
Yeah, so yeah, we got Oskaria as well, which is
focus.
more on the doomy side of things,
Yeah, yeah.
like
So
Conan and
yeah,
who
I think we're
other
great.
bands that I've. like as well.
Yeah, we're a huge mashup of all our favorite bands, I think.
Yeah, it's like that with Aventail. It's like a mashup, like and Zephyrum,
Yeah,
Corpiclani, Vindrol, Amon Amarth, and whoever
yeah,
else we all like at the same time. Oskaria, again, it's Conan and bands that I've checked out like and because of James who's in
yeah, yeah,
Aventail with us, he said he just sent me this band. I thought, who's Un? Checked
yeah,
him out, Pools of Reflection. I was like, oh, let's check this song out. I was like, shh,
yeah,
this is so good. It was like heavy and then it's like mellows out and there's this awesome female vocalist, and then it goes straight back into like heavy stuff.
yeah,
And there's
yeah.
an Oak from Portugal,
I
which
was
has,
about to say Oak, who are a flipping great band.
I think, is either ex-member or still a member of Geria.
Mm.
But
And
and then
then there's a, you
I know
know,
all these other bands as well. Like one was called Void Witch, which Liam, the Death Doom metalhead, recommended on his channel. I thought, let's check this band out. And I checked out their album. I thought, this is great. I need to write more stuff like this for
yeah, yeah.
more doomier, deathy stuff. But still,
It's like again with the Dooms, like I was in like a little Doom band before called Cult of the Skull, but they wanted to have more of an ominous presence live. And at the time, because I was the front man, I was really trying to do the Matt Heafy thing. I was there
yeah,
going, hey, hey, come on, and stuff like that. It's like, everybody make some
yeah,
noise.
but there
And they
are
didn't
bands
want
that are
that.
like that.
So literally, like the day after, they said, we don't want you in the band. We've told you that we don't want like a Matt Heafy. We want it to be this. We want to create this sort of ambience when
Yeah,
we're
because
live. And I didn't get that at the time, but then it's kind of like, basically they wanted to be like King Goat.
I know King Goat. Yeah, I've seen King Goat.
Yeah, so we supported King Goat in Bristol, and they wanted to be like that. And I kind of, when I saw King Goat live, and he's wearing this his like cloak, and he had his like podium and the candles, I was like, I get it. And I was like, yeah, no, I was a bit narcissistic back then, so I was like,
Yeah,
I really wanted the attention. I was like, all eyes on me, and I wanted people to know who I was. I didn't want to just be silent and not.
I think we've all been guilty of that.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. We're
I know there's been
musicians.
time.
It's part of us. So every
There's
musician
times
is a
where
narcissist.
I tried to do it. But I'm like, you know what? We got all these other talented musicians going
Yeah,
back to
yeah, yeah,
now.
yeah.
We all we're all just as important as one another.
Yeah, exactly.
So
And I wanted people to be like, "Oh yeah, that John from such and such band
yeah,
is so good."
that front
But
man, he knows what he's doing.
yeah, yeah,
That
yeah,
fiddle player, love his fiddling.
yeah.
His fiddling. That just sounded stupid.
It's great with his fingers.
Sorry, I didn't mean that. I
Yeah,
look, yeah, that fiddle player. He knows what he's doing. Corpiclani stuff. It's like, yeah, them.
yeah, exactly.
Um,
But no,
female
I
vocalist, that Lemon, she's really cool. It's like,
yeah,
yes, that's what we want. It's not just
yeah,
one egotistical person in the
yeah.
which some
And,
bands are guilty of
and
having.
even with Oskaria, I'm quite happy just to like take a back seat and just riff out. But there are also a couple
Oh
of
yeah,
songs that we are writing
because I'm doing all
where
the
we're doing
vocals,
the dual vocals.
which is good because I'm doing all the lower stuff because that's where my strength seems to be.
Yeah,
I do some screams as well, but in another band called Terminal Rock, which I'll talk about in another video once actually I've got more stuff to say about that band. Actually, some stuff recorded, but
yeah.
still, I do a bit of lows, do a bit of screaming, a bit more on the death thrasher type of vocals, not the more death metal type of
To be
vocals.
honest, I really like Terminal Rock. And I was like, I wonder if they want a second guitarist. Because I was like,
Who
you know,
knows? We might
like
expand the band.
that band. And I was thinking that band's natty. I like that. Like when I saw the video of the Jake here.
Oh yeah, I'll be on that side to him.
Yeah,
John's on this side.
that way direction.
There.
When I saw the video of him playing the more brewery, and I was like, you know what, this sounds great. It's like really thrashy. It's deathy. You know, it's the drummer's got groove. It's not just straight up blast beats.
No, yeah, yeah.
And the guitar tones and the bass sounds huge. It's like, you know what, these guys are
That's what we
flipping great.
wanted.
Yeah,
Because
so,
Lawrence, who's the guitar player, was in a band. They're not going anymore. They were called Acid Shock. If anyone is who's in the local scene remembers Acid Shock, which it was Lawrence on guitar. I can't remember the bass player's name. It'll probably come to me later. The drummer feels like he's just walked off the face of the earth and not seen him in years.
Yeah.
My friend Mateo, who's done half of my tattoos, was the vocalist to begin with.
Oh.
And then my mate Amber, who now lives in a different country, is was the vocalist for a while, and then Acid Shock just ceased to exist. But they were a really good band, and
Yeah,
I've
man.
done the odd like guest appearance at some of the shows. So there you go.
But yeah, so in terms of the
Um,
band,
so yeah, Lawrence
I
asked me
think
about Terminal Rock, and I was like, "Well, I do vocals." Like, oh, I didn't know you're interested. Well, yeah,
perfect.
I want to keep doing music.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I'm like. So I just want to play music. I don't care what I'm doing. I just want to play.
You know, I want.
I'll be happy to join an R&B band just to
Yeah,
play guitar live. I just want to perform live because that's what I live for. It's not this, and this time it's not a narcissistic thing. It's because I like
music.
sharing my guitar playing with people, and that's
Yeah,
why
because
and you know, I've had this project I've been working on for years, and I don't think I'll ever get it on off the ground.
yeah, I got a
Because
project I need to get sorted out, but
it's the project is called the Martyr Inside, and it's kind of like it's like modern day Trivium in a way. So it's like
okay,
so it's got thrash, and it's also got black metal and death metal influences in it. And but to be honest, at the minute, my main priority is obviously getting Oskaria off the ground
yeah,
and
and
trying to
obviously getting more stuff done with the with obviously Oskaria, Aventail, like the
yeah, yeah,
main two there.
yeah,
I mean, Terminal Rock. I mean, Terminal Rock's my other one, so that's just me. But
yeah,
three bands I need to sort out. So
yeah.
Aventail, Oskaria, and Terminal Rock. Because they're like, how many bands do you have now? Just three. I'm not going mental like a friend of
Like
mine who
to
had
be
on here
honest,
years ago.
it's a death metal thing. I think it is. It is for me. It's very normal. If you're into death metal, you know that guy is in about three other bands.
Yeah, because my mate Johnny, who used to live here, he's from Sweden originally, but used to live in Bristol. He's in like, I'm going to over exaggerate because it's a bullshit number, 20 bands.
Yeah,
In terms
and
of
it's
like how many bands you can be in, it's like, oh, it's a bullshit number. It's like, what's a bullshit number? I don't know, 300 bands.
yeah, it's like it's funny because the drummer is from another band. You know, and then you got like loads of other like players, you know, you ask a guitarist. So I was like, oh, I've got a solo project on. I've got two other bands as well. The vocalist has about five different bands on,
That's
and
just
it's
the thing with us
but
musicians.
that's just metal musicians now. You know, it's like because there's not
Because we have all these different bands, it's like you like obviously some will just do the same thing, be the vocalist or be the guitarist or be the bassist or the drummer. But some are like, oh, I play drums in these two bands, I play bass in this band, I play guitar and vocals in that band. It's like,
yeah,
okay, so where's the bottom line? What's going on? Which
yeah,
bands are
yeah.
active?
But no, that's it really when it comes to bands. With bands that I'm in, like I think I'm very excited about Oscaria.
Yep. So
Like, not so like if Alex watches this, just don't worry, Alex. I've not uh put a black mark on Aventail, but I feel like since we've done the gig, I feel like we can. Aventail is going to go back into hibernation and start working on
that's
stuff like we always
basically
do.
that's what we said we were gonna do. Just
Yeah,
start
yeah,
writing some more great tunes,
yeah. We're gonna. I think we're. I think.
which we're not going to discuss on here, by the way. We're just saying.
No. So basically, like I think the plan with Oscaria is obviously I've got a bit of a rope like yeah. So Oscaria like I was about to turn it into a band meeting then, but realized we're doing Jake's Metal Chat. But then it's like yeah, Oscaria I feel like is the most active band at the moment
Yeah,
in terms of work because we're rehearsing quite regularly now. Like I think it's works out nearly every other week. We did rehearsals last week.
yeah,
Had a break this week, and then we got another rehearsal on the 10th.
yeah.
And maybe try and do it like another every third week or something like that.
Yeah, that'll be
But
fun.
and that's yeah, that's my most recent bands at the minute. So
Yeah,
I think I've only been in about four good ones.
yeah. So,
So yeah, all the others are just like we turn up,
so yeah,
then that's it.
so
You turn up to one rehearsal, then
those
that's
two
it.
bands.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, because I'll get the gig that we played recently because it's stuck on my wall. If I can get it off. There we go.
Hey,
Like and verb.
like and throw.
Um,
Who have
um,
actually told us
Ambrose.
to. So check this out, Jake's Mail Chat. Those guys were so nice to us that they actually said, "Oh, if you guys want to come and have a gig over in Canada, hit us up." And we're
Yeah,
like,
that'd be
"Ooh."
great. So getting the poster back up
Yeah,
next to the one that we played last year with. You weren't in the band then. With Battleborn.
yeah, yeah.
Put them next to each other.
So that's two great bands that Aventail have opened up for. So
Well, yeah, because how
Aventail's
we
got some
got
great
the gig
opportunities
in
as
the
well.
first place with Like Info is because of Jack from Battleborn. He recommended us, which is great. So, Jack, if
Yeah,
you're watching this, thank you very much.
yeah, and I think it's also because the band dropped out as well. Because I think there was meant
Yeah,
to be a
because there was
band,
a
but then the
band
band
on there
dropped out, and then
beforehand.
Jack
Don't know
said,
what
"Oh,
happened.
try these guys."
I don't know what happened, but then Alex, if he's watching this, thank you for getting us this getting the
Yeah,
gig. It's like going like he was just like this. Oh, can we play the gig? Can we play the gig? Can we play the gig? Like being that annoying child, like
yeah.
children in the back going
Copy
there,
paste,
yeah,
copy
over
paste,
there,
copy
yeah, over
paste.
there, yeah. But no, it's like, can we play this gig? Can we play this gig? Can we play this gig? Yes, oh, cool.
See, that's what you got to do
Pizza.
now. Bands like any band who wants to get a gig, just keep
Just,
pestering the
just keep,
promoter,
just keep
and 9 out
messaging
of
the
the time
promoters.
you will beat them down so much. I'm like, all right, you can play the gig.
Message the
Stop
bands,
messaging
message the
me.
promoters. Get your music out there. That's all,
Yeah.
that's all bands do.
So yeah, that's it really.
But yeah, but like the three active bands I have are obviously Aventail, this band, Oskaria, and Terminal Rock.
Yeah.
So I have pagan folk metal, doom, and what I'd just say for Terminal Rock, thrashy death grind.
Yeah.
Because it's got thrash metal bits, death metal bits, and grindcore bits. So there you go.
See, that's something I can agree on. Jacob, grindcore is
Grindcore, Napalm Death. One
mate.
of the biggest. And there's so many more, but Napalm Death is
Napalm
that
Death
probably
is the
comes
big
to
boys.
everyone's mind first.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought, well, I play all these instruments. I'm always doing vocals and stuff when I'm at home or whatever. And it's like, okay, can I be in a band now? And I was like, never going to be in a band. Joined my first band when I was like 18 years old. And that was ironically called, actually, I was 17, wasn't 18 yet. Called, well, we didn't have the name yet. We called ourselves Tempo 99 for some reason. And
Tempo
then later,
99.
later on called ourselves Half Past Dead.
Half Past Dead.
And we got a MySpace account. I don't know if it's still active.
I don't know what name I prefer. I quite like
But
the Tempo 99. That
I
sounds like
don't know what happened there. It's just
that sounds like
it just
a
happened. Like
new metal, like a rap metal band.
look, well,
Tempo
it's the
99.
thing. We had like a mixture of like punk and some metal and well, the mixture of it was like Green Day meets the Ramones meets Bullet for My Valentine meets Metallica. That's what we were going for. It didn't sound anything like those bands
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah.
but there you go. It was an early band. I got spare like DVD discs of like all the stuff we recorded. We only did like a 2-track demo. Few videos of us rehearsing. That's about it. So it's like, and that 4-string bass, which is over there, I used for that band and all. Completely out of, you know, you stuck out like a sore thumb because everyone looked like they played like stuff from like a pop punk band or something, but
Yeah,
there's like
yeah,
already playing like black and death metal or something.
yeah. Wearing a
So I was
Bobber
already into
t-shirt.
that stuff by the time I joined this band, but then I still liked Green Day and bands like that. I don't really listen to those bands anymore because my music, my taste in music changed. That's what I was trying to say. Jesus, a bit tired, but there you go. But
That's
yeah,
right.
but with the bands I'm in now, we're in do the same bands, But the three bands I'm in, very happy to be in those bands because A, is genres that I like, and B, all talented musicians. And
Yeah.
that's it, you know. Because there's and of course the genres as well. So folk metal, doom metal, thrash metal, death metal, grindcore. It's like cool, love all these things. But then it's like Terminal Raw. It's like, oh, I'm all vocals. I don't have to worry about bringing an instrument
Yeah, yeah.
because all I have to do when I go to band practice with them is bring my microphone.
See, that's what I said to my wife from the last rehearsal with Oskaria, and actually said, and no disrespect, guys, from Aventail, I actually prefer the Oskaria rehearsals because I get to carry less. I just got to
In
bring my
terms
guitar and
in
my
terms
pedal
of
board,
gear,
and I'm
yes.
fine. Yeah,
In terms of
but
gear, with Aventail, you got a lot more to take.
yeah, I've had this.
In terms of that, yeah, it
Like
could be
I've
a
got
pain in the
this
ass.
here, which is my acoustic and my mandolin and my acoustic stand, because obviously we've got a song called Elegy, which literally turns straight to distortion straight away,
It's great. Yeah,
and I don't have enough time to put on my guitar and then start strumming. I need it literally there and then. So
yeah.
I've actually
Literally,
got
you
like
have your
a
guitar
damp,
already on you, and then you
yeah.
got the acoustic guitar on a stand.
So yeah, I got that. And then
But yeah, in terms of gear wise, yeah, Oscar is very much less.
down in that orange thing there is my Pod Go pedal
Yep.
board, which is basically my amps, which I'm selling soon. And then my Explorer. And so I had 1, 2, 3 guitars, essentially, and a pedal board. And it just, I remember that weekend, the morning after that gig we played, that Saturday morning, I was done in. As soon as I
Yeah,
got home, I fell asleep because
yeah,
my
because you
body
stayed
ached.
at mine afterwards.
Yeah,
But we stayed out for a bit because we wanted to go chat to the bands and
yeah, yeah.
everything, and then just stay at the Griffin for a bit longer. And then after that, obviously, well, no wait, no, me, and Alex went and got a kebab.
Yeah. Alex got left home with your auntie.
Yeah,
Me, you, and your auntie, and then
yeah, who always picks me up from gigs, or sometimes I'll just get like the bus home. But I had
yeah,
gear. I didn't want to take that on the bus.
no, no, you can't risk it on Bristol. Yeah,
No, no, no. Oh, well, no, not. Or if you're a musician in general, you know the struggles.
yeah,
If you don't drive, you got to take your gear on the bus or the train or something. But if you can drive, that's the easiest. That's the easiest thing for you. But unless you get stuck in traffic, you're like, oh,
yeah.
I'll be late for this gig.
So that's why I'm actually updating my because I think be cool to talk about gear as well, because
Yeah, let's talk about some gear
this
here as your gear
because
head.
um I've my ADHD has been doing my nothing because I'm stuck between two pieces of gear. I'm stuck between the Nano Cortex, which means I can get any amp sound I want, and it's basically a preamp. It's kind of like a for those who don't know what the Nano Cortex is, it's a smaller version of the Quad Cortex, which is one of the most used pedal boards in the history of guitar gear. Used to be Kemper, but now Nord DSP have brought out the Quad Cortex. It's gone on top. Trivium use it. Dream Theater use it sometimes. And yeah, it just kicks ass. It's like the MacBook of the guitar world, and then the Kemper is like the Windows.
Yeah,
That's the best way I can put it into analogy. But yeah, but then I was thinking, oh, it's so nice to have like this little tiny pedal, with a little power amp. I could have any amp I want, even the Conan amps, like the I think John from Conan plays through Marshalls, and
yeah,
also something called a Mat amp, which are like green versions of orange amps,
yeah, pretty much.
and that's what he plays, and I just love his tone. And then I was looking, I was like, oh, that means I could get a Mat amp. Then if I buy myself a Fuzz Lord, I can get Conan's tone. Not because I want to rip off Conan, I just think John's tone is mega. But
Oh
then,
yeah, if you hear that live, it's just disgusting.
yeah, but then I was thinking, oh, wouldn't it be cool to actually have a physical amp again? Because I used to own a Laney Ironheart 60-watt head.
I mean, I got my Ampeg head, so
Yeah,
that's what I
and
use.
there's something about having a physical head and having those tubes drive a speaker in a room and moving air just sounds so good. Yes, you get the beautiful, like realistic sound from the quad cortex. You get everything all in one unit, but with the head, yes, you got to buy additional pedals like the tuner and the noise gates and stuff like that, but they're cheap. You can get them cheap off Reverb. Like I've actually got a shopping basket worth about 25 quid with 3 pedals in it,
Yeah,
so I'm gonna buy when I get paid.
you're
And
just driving. You just drive. I think you just keep telling us in like the band chats or when you're
yeah,
at home with your wife, like you're just driving us all mad
is I'm gonna get
with how
this?
much
No,
pedals you get and
I
everything.
changed my mind. I'm gonna get this. But I've said to my
Like,
wife, I said to her, honey, I'm gonna buy the Kraken head because I'm actually going for the Victory Kraken
yeah, and then
because what I
yeah,
love about it is because it's got like an attenuation switch which allows you to go from like gig level 50 watt down to like 3.5 watts, so I can actually use it at home and use it for recording and stuff like that. And the
always
tone,
important.
the clean tones is based on the JCM 900, and the dirty tones are actually based on the 5150.
Yeah,
So, the ultimate metal amp. So I was thinking of getting one of those, a noise gate and a tuner pedal, and also like a fuzz type pedal or like a HM2 style thing to give me that extra grind for Oskaria. But I think, and also they're about this big, the heads.
yeah.
So if when Oskaria and Aventail start touring, you can literally wear it like a handbag and take
Yeah.
it to gigs. And
So
then in your backpack or in your guitar bag, you've got your pedal board with your additional pedals.
so
And
anyone that's a musician, take note.
yeah, and it's you can find them second
If you're going on
hand.
tour, that is take note.
Yeah, like your best friend is probably either a little amp head for either 30 watt or 50 watt, or the Nano Cortex with a power amp pedal. And that's how you can tour for less than 800 quid.
So yeah,
So
if anyone's a massive gearhead like John here, then you're probably just taking notes. Like, yep, yep, yep. Because I'm just like this, listening, thinking, I know what you're saying, but some of it I'm
it's going
about,
glazing over a little bit
like what are you talking
ah.
about? Like I just know how to plug the damn thing in.
I just know actually plug it in all up to a level and then go.
Yeah, me it's just like, well, obviously with the HMT, it's like turn it all the way up and you got that dirty tone. That's about it. But in terms of bands who are out there and are like, oh, he's talking gear, I like that. Well,
Yeah.
he knows his gear a lot
I,
better than I do.
I
But
do a lot of research, but this
there's
is
a lot
how
of
it looks.
research.
This is how it looks, ladies and gentlemen.
So
This
if
is
you need
what
any so yeah, this thing right here.
that's the Victory Kraken.
Yeah, he's
Um
been talking about that I think non-stop.
and what I love about this, what I love about this is that it's a boutique amp. And when it first got released, it was worth about 850 quid, and now you can get them secondhand for 550,
Yeah,
which is a steal. And they just look great. They sound great, and the best thing about them is that they're British,
and they're British.
British made amps, and they're actually co-owned by Lee Anderton from Anderton's
Oh,
music
cool.
store. So you know that the quality's there.
Yeah,
So
a lot of good
so
quality amps.
so Jacob, what was your first piece of gear when you got into
My first piece of gear. Wow. Well, obviously I got the BC Rich Warlock, a little Marshall amp.
Okay, was it like was it like one of those little Marshall, was it 15 watt?
I think it was.
Because
I think I still got it here in the house, but I'll have to have a look later.
yeah, because I remember years ago they brought out a budget range which was called the NG range,
Yep.
and I actually saved up. There's a store in Bath that used to be called Sounds International, and they had a great selection. They had like the Marshall amps and everything, and they had a MG 100 DFX, and that was my first proper amp I actually saved up for. And the guys were so nice in there; they'd let me play it every day. after college, and I would put every time I get paid from work, I'd give them 50 quid to pay it off. Then having, I'll tell you what, mate. I don't know about you, Jake, but when you get your first amp, it's awesome, isn't it? When you get your
Yeah,
first proper amp, you're like, it's like,
I am
oh,
God. So,
yeah, I am God.
oh, so what's going on? Don't look at him.
You're just there howling and
Uh,
ow
so,
like that because you're
what?
so
I'm just
happy.
praising this amp.
Yeah, and it's like it's great
This is
because
cool.
it just sounded amazing,
You know?
and yeah, I just loved it. I think the little Marshall range are
Yeah.
really good value for money, especially if you're starting out because they actually sound good. They're not a digital amp; they're a analog solid state amp. So you're talking about old school MOSFET technology. So it's kind of like you get a proper analog sound out of it. So it's not modeled, it's not digital, it's analog. So that's when Marshall were still creating good amps, and nowadays not so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's cool to find out that your first amp was like probably the same as mine, like a little Marshall thingy.
Yeah, it's like yeah, because I think I still got it in the spare bedroom here, so I'll have to dig it out later
I
and have
think
a
you
look
should
at it.
actually no. I think you showed me it when I came over.
Oh, I
Actually,
did, yeah.
yeah, you showed me. Oh, that's a little Marshall. I was like, hey!
Yeah, you know which one I'm on about.
Yeah, yeah.
I haven't played it in a while, so
No.
need to play it, need to plug my guitar back in, see how it sounds.
So bass amps. When you started getting into bass, was that Ampeg your first
Yeah,
piece of gear? Was that
that's the first one.
so? You've
I
had
haven't
that ever
used anything
since.
else yet.
I suppose, like, if it's good enough, you suppose you don't really need to.
No, well, because I didn't have a bass amp to begin with when I started playing bass. But when I had a bass, I didn't have a bass amp, so I just plugged it through my Marshall.
Yeah,
But okay, that'll work for now. And I was like, oh, I need a decent bass head, bass amp, everything,
yeah.
you know. And I thought, what's a good bass head?
And Ampeg,
Gets me
obviously,
ideas.
Ampeg,
I
obviously,
thought
number
Ampeg,
one
and
in
I
my.
was like, I looked at Ampeg, I thought, okay, that looks really cool.
Yeah, I've really, you know what, like, uh,
So I went with that. And I
uh,
got the cab with it there, which has got t-shirts on it. I will sort that out because I've got to sort my drawers out. But there you go.
but yeah,
Bit
man, it's
emotional.
like I do love the Ampeg range because they've actually got Ampeg modeled on my Line 6 pedal, which I use
Mm.
for recording Oskaria stuff and Aventail stuff. Because I was like, right, I want this to try and sound like Jake's rig because that
Yeah,
way when we listen to it, it sounds like we're
you know,
playing
like
it.
you know,
And
musicians finding stuff.
I managed to mimic Jake's rig on my Line 6 pod unit, and
Oh,
it's
did you know?
yes, I did. I managed to do it, and I was like, you know what, this sounds
He's
beast, and
copying me, folks.
it's an Ampeg head as well, so an Ampeg preamp like head, and it's
Ah,
sound
okay, okay.
Ampegs are absolutely awesome, really good amps.
Yeah, whoever uses an Ampeg, then you got a good quality amp right there.
It's like I think most people use Ampeg. I don't really
I've seen a few
remember.
bands that use that. It's mainly bass players I've seen use them. I haven't seen very many guitar players, but
Like I remember Trace Elliott being big in the bass scene, but it's always been for me. It's been Ashdown
yeah,
And
yeah,
Ampeg's always been the ones that
because the other band I had, Herbicidal, you
yeah.
know, remembers that who's watching this. Ollie would use two different bass heads.
Oh,
I think he had like a Marshall for one,
good man.
and I want to say the other one was like a line 6 or something. I can't really remember, but
Yeah, yeah,
he had two to get that extra dirty,
yeah,
not dirty to extra like heavy bass,
yeah.
bass sound.
So that's what I love about like blending pedals and amps together because it just sounds
Even the
incredible.
even the vocalist and bassist from Monolithian did the same thing.
Yeah,
I was like, I'm thinking, is this just a Doom thing or something? Is this what
I
Doom
think it is.
bands
I
do?
think
Because I don't do that.
I think it's Doom that got me into like wanting to buy an amp again because I saw like Conan because obviously Conan one of my biggest influences for how we write and for Doom,
I'm one
and I just
tool.
love it because they're British boys as well, and I'm just like yeah, support the British scene, and the fact that the dude uses between 3 or 4 Marshall heads and 3 or 4 Matamp heads, and he just gets this monstrous tone from this pedal board, which is about the size of my monitor here, and his tone is amazing. That's all because he's blending like 2-3 amps at the same time
Crazy.
and pedals, and I'm like,
He's
that's
like,
the fun about using amps
yeah, he's
rather
probably
than
thinking as
digital.
well that, oh, I got this amp. Let me fiddle with a few other amps and see what happens. And this is
Yeah,
what's happened.
yeah, exactly.
Me, I'm
So
just like, okay, I got this bass head.
it
I thought,
sounds good. That'll
I
do.
want to add something to it, and I thought, let's try and put that in, see how it sounds. All right, fed back a little bit because I had the gain too bloody high up, but there you go. It's just getting that proper balance.
It is. It's all about blending, and that's
Blending as well, the blending,
and as I was
balancing it all.
saying with
Like musicians, you know the struggle.
yeah, trying to get that perfect tone is never going to happen.
It's never easy. Any
But
instrument,
it's a
be it a
good
guitar, a
excuse.
bass, a
It's a
fiddle,
good
violin,
yeah.
whatever.
For me, it's a good excuse just to keep buying equipment.
Just keep buying equipment, and then like, so on the next episode of Gear Hoarders, here's our lead guitars. I'm like, oh god.
So John
I knew
says
this was gonna happen. It's like it can't fit in his house anymore. Now it's on the street. I'll be like, yes, oh, I'll take that.
it's in my shed because I can't fit anywhere
Like,
else.
well, I'll take this guitar.
But yeah,
But like,
it's a,
oh yeah, because that was good that you're on the chat because you know you're gear, and I'm thinking some might be like, "Ooh, gear." He's talking gear, but like, it depends what sort of band you want to do. Because I was going to mention a Doom band had
yeah.
that ominous presence called Two Man Doom Band, completely instrumental. So
Yeah.
bass player and a drummer.
Who's that?
Two
Is
Man
that
Doom
is
Band.
that their actual
That's
name?
actually what they're called.
I was
Two
gonna say
Man
it's like
Doom
oh, it's a
Band.
2-man doom band. It's like oh,
It's
what's their
literally
name?
two
That's
guys
their
in a
name.
doom band. Yeah,
It's funny in the story because that's how me and
I
Jake were
saw.
gonna start off Oskaria,
That's
but
what it
then
was. It was a
but then
two
I
piece.
realized
Not a struggle
how
being in the
much
band,
how
finding
much
musicians.
how much more better it sounds with a live drummer. Like as soon as Billy come into the band,
Oh yeah,
those songs just went from here to like whoomp like there, and I was like, frick me.
because
So this is
everything goes well when you got certain members in whatever band you're in.
so if you're wondering like what John from Conan's amp setup is actually he doesn't use Matamp heads anymore. He uses Marshalls into Matamp cabs. But look at that.
See, to the average person that might be overkill, but for someone like him, not at all.
To me, he's blending 2-3 amps together and like 2-3 different cabs, and that's what I love about it. About people use amps live is because is you can mimic and you can copy the sound as much as you like, but there
Yeah,
won't
exactly.
be anything better than seeing a physical amp on a stage and hearing it raw. You know, like
Yeah.
I will admit that Lorna Shore did use Kempers into Mezzabugi cabs. A lot of them use Kemper actually, if not all the members, and it sounded fantastic. But it was you just knew it was digital, and not because it sounded digital, it's because you saw it and you're like, oh, this sounds digital. But I remember when I saw, I can't remember what band I saw. I think it was Killswitch Engage, and they were with Framus. They were using Framus Cobras at the time and 5150s, and it just sounded unreal because you just heard the roar of the amp, and that was even before it was mic'd up. Like when they're doing the sound check, he's like, freaking heck. So there's something about using real amps, the way it looks also as an aesthetic, looks cool on the stage, man.
Yeah, I mean, well, like when I saw Conan, like you just showed his thing then, I was like, yeah, that's a lot of amps, but it's got that tone that you need. But what makes that sound like it got is that the tune to F.
Drop F.
Drop F even.
No, I think it's F standard.
F
It,
standard. It's
I think
either F
I
standard
think
or
it's F
drop F.
standard.
Yeah, because I asked him when I saw him with Monolord in 2018, I think it was.
Yeah.
So what's your tuning? He said, I think the bassist said drop F.
Yeah, I think it is drop F.
I was like,
I was like, you know what, that's
Why?
nasty. And Oskaria, we play in drop B, but now I'm thinking for anything after like our EP that we're
You're
writing.
giving our secrets.
I'm thinking drop F now. I'm gonna get a Digicheck drop
All right,
pedal.
people, you heard it here first.
So we're gonna go drop F on the next one, which is lower than drop. Well, I
Oh
was
yeah,
gonna do drop G. Then I heard Conan's tuning. I was like, that sounds even
yeah,
nastier.
because Moon Reaper is in drop G, I think,
Yeah.
which is ridiculous. When I heard it, I was like,
Oh, funny story.
okay.
The guitarist from Moon Reaper uses Victory Kraken. The
Oh,
same amp as me.
that's either
So
Morgan or Jared. Might be Jared.
I'm not sure.
Because there's
I'm
two of them.
gonna,
Because Morgan does vocals and plays guitar, so it might be Jared.
it might be Jared then. But then I remember seeing one of their videos recently, and they've been using. It says there's like a Victory Kraken in the background. I was like, whoo! No wonder they sound so mighty.
Well,
But
yeah, I mean, they're just a fantastic band, and obviously they played Bloodstock twice.
yeah,
Did them,
it's well deserved in my opinion.
yeah, 2023 New Blood, and then this year Sophie's Days, and you know what, proud of every single one of them.
Yeah, I don't know them, but even I'm proud. I'm like, you know what, these guys have done well. Like from being a little local band from like the southwest who play in like stages like that, it's great.
Yeah,
Well, one of my old friends who I used to be in a band with called Haley is a Hitman. That's it. That was one of my other. That's the fifth band that I was in, which did some really good stuff.
what's it called?
Haley is a Hitman. We're
Haley is a
like,
Kid Man.
just think, you're gonna hate it. So just think, Ask Alexandra.
Oh god.
It was around that era, yeah. Oh god.
No,
So
most people who watch my stuff know I like my death metal, progressive doom,
this
black metal,
video
and
is
stuff like
getting
that.
cancelled because not only have I opened up with the Osmonds,
No,
but
you're
I've just
showing
mentioned
what
us.
you got, why your music journey begun when it got into metal, so that's totally fine.
He's not real metal, guys.
He's not metal.
He listens to the Osmonds and he likes asking Alexandra.
I tell people I listen to Queen, you know.
Yeah, but Queen are cool.
I love Queen.
Queen are
And then I
cool.
listen, it's like, oh yeah, like have a nice little boogie to Queen, and then
Yeah,
Conan.
yeah. But
You
yeah.
know, stuff
So
like that, you know.
when my guitarist from Haley is a Hitman, uh, when I left Haley as Hitman, they started a pop punk band called Downcast, which are still going, but with just one original member from Haley as a Hitman. But the guitarist that I was in a band with, he's gone on to do some pretty cool stuff actually, which I'm slightly jealous of. But I'm not jealous at the same
It's
time.
a
I look at
natural
him,
thing.
I was just that sort of things like, damn it, you beat me to it. He's played with a band called Drip Fed Empire, who were like a cyber metal band, almost like a new metal band. They played Bloodstock and stuff like that, and now he's in the Doom band Froglord.
Oh, I love Frog Lord.
Yeah, so he's guitarist for that band.
Oh yeah, I've spoken to him before. Yeah,
Yeah, Jordan Cross is his
yeah,
name. Yeah.
yeah. All
Um.
great lads.
Yeah. I'm
They're
still
just
got.
so good.
I still got to catch Froglord. I mean, you got to get a gig
They're
with them.
they're just
But
yeah.
but yeah. So I saw him like and even Froglord did Bloodstock recently, and I was like, you know what, that's cool. Fair play, mate. You played Bloodstock in two different bands.
And
That's
they
quite
literally had like this
good.
big toy frog, but I think they said it's a toad.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And they just stick it in the middle on
They,
the
they call
on
themselves
the speakers.
amphibian. Was it amphibian doom? They call themselves.
Amphibian Doom. Yeah, Amphibian Doom. Because
But
obviously
yeah,
amphibians.
that's my
But yeah,
story.
really good band. Love the band. I got a t-shirt somewhere. I put it in the wash recently, but I got a t-shirt.
Yeah, so yeah, for some really cool cats
Yeah,
out there,
really cool
man.
band. Love that band. You've not checked out Froglore. We're just naming bands here, so
Yeah.
description below. Check out
So
Frog.
I reckon we should close it up right about now because one, I'm dying for a piss, and two, I'm starving because I.
Right. So
But I reckon I want to know what vinyl Jake has been spinning this week.
well, I haven't been spinning it. I'm gonna be spinning it, even though I have heard it already. It's the new album by Nails.
Oh yeah,
See Nails
I
Well,
love
yeah,
that
that's
artwork too.
and I haven't taken the sticker off the off.
That's how new it
It's,
is. He still hasn't got it done it
28
yet.
quid. 28 quid for that, and you know what? 28 quid well spent.
And I'm just gonna go and get you guys what I've been listening to the
But then you
last.
can see Nell's logo up there. So
They're all so
this
cool.
is like grindcore, power violence, hardcore with HM2. So that's
That's the I might have to check them out. But this is the
have a listen.
three albums I've been spinning recently. But I'll tell you my favorite album out of the three. Bear me 2 seconds.
Right. So when he gets back, I'd like to thank John for coming on to the chat. Obviously, if you're a gearhead like him, probably got a lot of information about what amps to get and pedals and stuff like that. So need to know more stuff like that, then I think John will be happy to answer some questions. But he's gonna get his vinyl. But yeah, that Nails record, you haven't heard it yet. Definitely, definitely one you need to check out. And also to check out Lycan Pro as well. Description below. Awesome band. As we've been talking about bands and we're in bands. So Lycan Pro and Battleborn, I will put them in the description below. So if you are into your heavy metal, your power metal, stuff like that, all in the description below. And that's about it really. So I'd like to apologize again like I did in my um update video. Like, just been busy, and obviously that gig we played on the 11th of October was something I really needed to focus on. We all needed to focus on as a band. And went without a hitch. Which that seems to be a word a lot of people seem to say. Went without a hitch. But yeah, we'll be back soon with the vinyl, of course. But yeah, I'll put both our bands down in the description below so you can check them out as well. And he's back. So John,
Hey.
vinyl before we close it up.
So my two most favorite records at the
I
moment
think I
is
was in the shop when you picked one of them up.
this one.
And to Phyllis, new one.
Flipping, this is a masterpiece. Like, even listening to it on Spotify, I don't skip it.
No, I
That's
didn't do
very
that when
rare.
I
I
was.
get an album like that. Like, sometimes I skip a song and I'm like, ah, this is my two favorite
I do
songs,
that with
but
some albums. Like, oh, that's my favorite one. So I'll play that one.
never heard of these guys before.
Oh, I've heard of them.
Heard of them through Black City Records, because
Seen
they
them
did
live.
their acoustic set there. And
Yeah.
then I looked at the artwork and the logo, and usually I go for a band on the artwork and the logo. And I was like, this looks cool. So I just bought this on a whim, and it is epic. Probably one of my favorite records I've bought. And this one,
So,
Saw Roots,
yeah, band I have seen live,
like amazing,
like atmospheric black metal with
atmospheric black
folk,
metal with doom and folk elements. And
folk.
it's for me, it's everything I love in a band. Because I just love like atmospheric, big sounds with. They've even got like pipes and Uilleann pipes and folk pipe behind like black metal, and it's
Yeah.
Scottish, which is great.
Well, I like the more atmospheric black metal sounds, and there you go.
I just love the logo and the fact that they've got Glencoe
Yeah,
as
that's
their
yeah. See,
artwork.
some beautiful nature scenery right there, and of course there with the trees and the little
Flipping
lake
amazing band.
is what you want.
And yeah, so those two I've been literally been listening to repeat on like rotation. So that's what I've been listening to lately.
Which one would you say your favorite is out of that one? Might lose. It's between Windsor Philip. So
Probably Saw because I like the pipes because I've got I come from Scottish descendants, so I've got a bit of Scottish in me, and the pipes. I just love the sound of like Celt like Scottish folk. Huge fan of it, like the tin whistles and the melodies that they use. Like that's why I'm a big fan of Rumrig, because they use that sort of thing, and they use that in Saw, and Saw is like a good mashup of my favorite kind of like genres anyway. So I think it's probably gonna have to be the Saw album because when I listen to that, I can just sit back and mong out and just
there you go.
let it play.
Yeah, there's some albums like that I'm like, I could just lay here for ages.
Yeah, exactly, mate. There's not a skip. It's not again another record with no skippable songs. It's all
Oh yeah, so his answer is Saw.
saw Roots. So if anybody wants to check out that album Roots, it's flipping amazing
Yeah,
from
that's
start to
it.
finish.
That's his pick, and I'd like to thank him for coming on this chat of mine.
Thanks for
Bit
having
of a
me.
weird experience for me because it's actually someone I'm in the band with two bands
Yeah,
in with.
he knows. So it's like when he's asking these questions, he knows the answer.
I know the answers because with everyone else, it's like I know them by like the bands they're in, so their reputation in the band, and
Yeah.
I've been meeting them in person, so I know them in person, and I'm not in bands with any of the other ones I've had on here. You're the first first guest who is actually in a band with me, which is just yeah, bit of a weird experience, but there you go. I was literally just gonna get the whole band on here at one point. I might still do
Yeah.
that. Who knows?
It just ended up turning into like a band chat, like we're in
So I'll
like
just be like
a
this.
pub.
So yeah, just chat amongst yourselves. I don't know, but
Yeah, I don't know what to do.
it's weird. It's just a weird. It's just a weird, but a nice little experience.
Yeah, it's good.
Have
Get some
one
local
of my
people.
mates on here. So
Yeah.
once again, John, thank you very much. Be sure to
Cheers for
check
having me.
out obviously Aventail Oskaria. It's all going to be in the description below. So if you haven't heard the demo that we've done yet, which I'm going to announce here, called Suffocation. If you haven't heard it yet, down below. I know I put in my update video explaining why I haven't been on here in a while because of the gig and other things, like work and whatnot. And yeah, so all be in the description below, and be sure to check out the Metal Tavern when we actually get that sorted out
Get around to
again.
doing that. Yeah.
And obviously all my stuff, Metal Vault episodes, collection update, which we need to do at some point because I haven't done one in a while. But yeah, be sure to check out that. And of course, I always say this: if you like this video, well, give it a like, share it around, comment down below like what sort of gear you use, because John might be very interested in what
Yeah.
gear you use if you are a guitarist, bassist, whichever musician in general. What gear do you use? And most importantly, if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to keep up to date with everything I'm doing. So Metal Chats, Metal Vault, collection updates, my favorite death metal albums, which I've done in a while, favorite metal underground releases, which I still need to get on with because I've only done 2 episodes, that Swedish and American episode. But yeah, description below, everything that you need to know about Aventail, Oskaria, and anything else that we're both involved in. So that's it from us. He's been John the Bard, as it says right there. I've been Jacob Jake's Metal Chat. Keep that banner of metal well and truly high. And I will see you all in the next one.
Arrivederci, guys.